Out here doing some swamp crawling. Kind of stuck. Got a ledge I got to get up over. Real swampy. And there hasn't been a whole lot of activity out on this area this summer. It's been super wet. Lots and lots of rain last 2 months. So the swamps are full of mud, full of excitement. There's more of a main trail, a couple 100 yards off that way. It looks like everyone's been getting through that. So there hasn't been too many rigs ventured off that main trail over here in these side swamp. Gnarly area back in here. Fantastic. I'm gonna get a little shot of winching right here. Been out here probably an hour working my way through, picking my way through a couple of swamps on this route, and just out here enjoying the day. It was nice and sunny this morning. Of course, now afternoon the sun's gone away and we're getting more rain, of course. Incredibly wet summer, but that's what we want. It makes the wonderful mud, makes for the excitement. So we're out here in it, enjoying it, and got to get through this. Now we'll wait. Nothing to it. Another rainy wheeling trip. Crazy rain the last couple months up here in Alaska. We're coming in on the end of August. Like I said, lots of rain. So school's back in. Summer's dwindling away, little bit by little bit each day. I'll get some shots of some more scenery in a little bit, but the weeds are starting to die off. The colors are just starting to change, you know, into the yellows and the browns and the, you know, those fall colors. So it's right at that point here, the end of August, where it's starting to switch. I'm out here in the woods, just came through big swamp. Out here just checking a couple spots, checking a couple potential winter camping spots. And this is a good one right here where I'm at. I wanted to take a break right here, grab some, it's in between lunch and dinner. So found this nice spot, kind of out of the rain, up under these trees. It's nice. This will be a good spot in the winter to do some deep snow camping. These trees are all alive. I don't run the risk of anything falling down on me. But in the winter, in the snow, you know, this will be all covered. And, you know, this will be like a nice little cave area right here, nice little shelter. You know, I just spent, a couple minutes clearing Devil's Club out of here. You get these areas, these little coves like this where the trees are. This, you know, you get Devil's Club growing in here, and that stuff is wicked nasty. So I chopped some of it down, made a nice little pad here so I could cook up something to eat. Got the old vintage Coleman, and just gonna cook up some soup real quick, have some sardines, maybe make some chaga tea, the usual. Woo, the matches are wet. Get that lit. Waterproof matches are soaking and they still work. Some of that military stuff is pretty good. Like the old military spoons. That's from 1945. And there's an old knife. I believe that's also from 1945. Original stuff. yeah, you gotta love these old Coleman stoves. Super cool to work with, and ultra reliable. Never have an issue with these guys. And you know, the world's changing propane, butane. Coleman fuel, unfortunately, is getting more expensive. So you know, the old lanterns, the old stoves are becoming kind of a novelty. Or if you come out just once in a while, like I do, and still fire one up and use it. But for prolonged, you know, multiple week use, everyone's transitioning to, you know, butane and propane, which, you know, I don't think is that great, because propane canisters, butane canisters, they don't last very long. And what does everyone do? And you see it up here in Alaska all over the place. They just chuck it. Chuck the old canisters, you know, and where these old Coleman Coleman fuel based products, white gas, naphtha, whatever you want to call it, you know, you're carrying your fuel in, you know, reusable containers. You know, this will last a long time, and I'm not just chucking it out when I'm done. I'm refilling it for the next trip. I really don't like propane because of that. There's a whole lot of waste involved in it, where, you know, these old Colemans are little harder to deal with. They're super reliable, and you know, you don't have any of the waste associated with them. As you can see, starting to die off, starting to change colors just a little bit, starting to get the reds from the berries, but we're starting to get, you know, the dead brown, and the yellow is starting to appear. Some little hints of red every now and then, but it's starting. That slow descent, and we know where it's going. Slow descent to cold. So we are out of that little spot. Yeah, I'm not running my front locker. So you see what happens when that dead tire, you know, drops in and you run into a little ledge like that, and the other side basically comes off the ground just a little bit, or it's in deep mud. It'll spin. All the traction will go to that side when you're not locked. So that dead tire on the down side is just an anchor, and then you throw a little hard packed wall in front of it, and you can't bounce up on it. So what do you got to do? You got to goose it. You got to give it, you know, a little bit throttle, which I do not like to do because things go wrong very quickly. And so yeah, there's the mud. Not even really that bad a spot, but it's just that it's that goose. And you know, this mud is thick, and without like an idiot, I'm not running that front locked. So what do you think is going to happen? You saw it in the video. You probably heard it. That is a busted yoke, slip yoke on the differential side. Snaps clean off right at the caps. So everything else looks good. You know, CV held. But that's twice in the last few weeks that I've done that since having these ags on here. You know, which, you know, it's a learning process. You put these little ags on there, you're getting all this traction. And, you know, when you got to start spinning them, it's not good. I should have been running that front locker locked, and you didn't, and you pay the price. But yeah, that's the second one in the last couple weeks. So, you know, this is all part of the game. This is all part of your off-road craft. You got to find out these weak spots, and you know what's going to break when you go to a different tire setup, and you know that rear slip joint, slip yoke seems to be what's going to go first. Which, you know, so be it. I can live with that. Because what's very cool about this rig is front and rear drive shafts are the same length, same identical setup. You know, and all Spicer yokes, Spicer U-joints, 1310 though. You know, and that's what happens. It's, you know, if do I bump up to 1350s? Well, then I'm transferring that problem. You know, is it going to go into the ring and pinion? Is going in the transfer case? Am I going to break the shaft or break the CV side? You know, I can live with a busted slip yoke. So got to pull it. Got my little nest built here, so I'm up out of the mud. I got a couple options. I can pull the front drive shaft, put it in the rear. So like I said, do the same identical setup, or just pull this rear and get out of here in front wheel drive, which, you know, pouring down rain, kind of lazy today. This is just taking the energy right out of me, this rain and mud. I got probably 3 or 4 miles to get out of here, and you know, as long as the winch holds up, and that's working great, you know, I'll just run front wheel drive and then just winch when I have to. It's not that big a deal. Just enjoy the woods, enjoy the rain, and take my time. You know, and of course I have, you know, in the process, I don't have it completed yet, but a whole nother complete drive shaft being built right now. Of course, I don't have it out here with me, or this would be a 15-minute job. I throw that other, well, really, I just robbed the slip yoke off of it. I've got a slip yoke actually sitting right home on the bench. Didn't grab it today. Of course, that's when stuff happens. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna pull this and keep on going. Yeah, we're in it now. Good mud. The rain has made it nice and soft, so it's not too terrible to winch through. But I'm down to front wheel drive, and it's times like these where a good winch investment pays off big. So happy to have quality, mean little winch, you know, just dragging through the mud. I'm about out of this section, and then probably 3 or 4 more small little winches, and most of the trails, you know, doable in front wheel drive. So you know, it's just time now. Sun's going down a little bit. It actually came on a little bit, stopped raining. So I mean, this is fantastic out here. Got some blue smoke happening, and hey, it's a tractor. What do you expect? Yeah, we got some delicious looking mud. Look at that. That's the hard line. I'm taking the easy side. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic out here. Peace and quiet. Nobody out here but just the moose and the bears. A lot of bear sign all over. Every time I got out of the rig and kind of walked around or took a look, bear sign everywhere. Found a nice couple spots where some moose had bedded down. So yeah, the animals are out here. Kind of cool to see that stuff. But all right, it's just a matter of prolonged and sustained efficient winching. It's the name of the game now. Making it out of here. Just made it past pretty much the last swampy hole. Had to winch through 3 or 4 spots back there. Just took it real super slow, front wheel drive. Just let those front tires just kind of spin real easy. You know, because what you don't want to do is spin those fast, because there's, you know, these trails have a lot of roots in them, little ledges, big rocks, and I just let those front kind of idle at a, you know, slow spin, you know, to help out the winch. It would grab, you know, a root, a rock, or whatever, and kind of lift it up out of a hole, and let that winch just kind of pull it. But yeah, other than that, no worse for wear. Everything else survived. So like I said, this is a fantastic test. Now that I know that, you know, the rear slip yoke will break, you know, I can keep that in mind and, you know, carry some extras and plan for that. But, you know, I know now to slow down, quit trying to spin those ags. I mean, you start spinning those ags and crazy things are going to happen, you know, and there's no need for it. I can get into these bigger mud holes and swampier areas and, you know, just accept defeat and winch right out. With the winch and everything was working with the winch system, this thing is incredibly easy to winch out of even the deepest holes. So I just got to, you know, play it safe and not spin those ags no matter what. It's a death sentence. You start spinning them, you know, and everything else is fantastic with these ags on this rig. Hill climbs, you know, I'm doing everything without the front locked that, you know, it would have taken with the 38 other tires. You know, I wouldn't have been able to make it up that stuff, even with, there's some spots back in here, some small grassy hill climbs that I wouldn't have made it in this wet condition like this in the rain with the other tires on there with the front locked. You know, I'd have been doing a 4-tire burnout going up the grassy hills, and you know, then you start hopping and all sorts of crazy things could happen with these ags. You know, you just tractor right up it. Fantastic amounts of traction. But, you know, I just got to be prepared for driveshaft breakage, which that's minimum. That's the easiest thing on this whole rig to deal with, so it's not that big a deal. I'll take that. And, you know, now that I know, I know, so I can deal with it. But another trip to the end. I got a little time to get this thing home. It's getting dark, but it's been a good one. It's been a fun one. And on to the next one.